Hello and welcome to the War on Wellness. Those darn food cravings. Yes, that is what we're talking about today. And I am Penny, your host for the War on Wellness. And we're going to be talking about this topic, those darn food cravings, because it affects many of us, right? Am I right? So, my question I have for you is, what is your guilty pleasure? Well, okay, wait a minute, back up. What is your guilty food pleasure? Because I don't want to see some of your answers. Some of those answers I don't want to know about. Okay, so we're delving into the simple science behind food cravings and behind food addiction. So grab your seat, grab your beverage of choice, and answer in the comments. And while you're doing that, we're going to watch a quick video from our sponsor. Welcome back to the War on Wellness. I am Penny, your host, and thank you for joining me from my Facebook pages, from my YouTube channel, and my broadcast is telling me that I'm also on the Instagram page. So if anyone is watching on Instagram, do let me know if you are, and I will make sure to give you a shout out as well. Okay, very good. So we're talking about it. We're going to talk about food cravings, those darn food cravings. Why is it? Because they are the reason that some of us are eating on a repetitive cycle certain foods. And so I asked you before we went to our commercial break, what is your guilty food pleasure? And so whether you're on the replay or you're watching live, what is your guilty food pleasure? And so let's see what we have here. Candy bars. Well, I'm guessing certain candy bars are just all candy bars. Maybe. I know mine was chocolate covered peanut candies. It didn't matter what brand it was. And so somebody's saying Tostitos, okay? Tostitos, or maybe Tostitos. And also Twinkies. Hey, they still make Twinkies? I did not know that. Okay. So we have a couple guilty pleasures here that people are dealing with. And we're talking about those darn food cravings. Well, so yeah, I mean, many people, this affects so many different people. And so have you ever wondered why there are certain foods that are just really hard to resist? It's not just about the taste. There is actually science that's lurking behind your favorite snack, whatever that snack may be. And that's the snack if it's a processed snack. Now, if your favorite snack is an apple, well, I take that back. There's actually, there could be some chemical additives in the apple too. Grapes, there could be chemical additives in those too. So just because it's a produce or fruit item doesn't mean that it's not enhanced in some way with some flavor additives. So let's first talk about the culprits that are hiding in plain sight, the chemical additives and the flavor enhancers found in mostly processed foods. So I would say that foods that are not processed are probably going to be mostly whole plant-based foods, or food that you grow or that is completely pure in its growing process. So what is important to us as our plant-based penny family is, and I've said it before, turn the labels, turn the product over and read the labels. Not on the front, but read on the back. What does it say on the ingredient label? You might see names that you can't pronounce. And then oftentimes when you see that, those are chemical additives. And they're designed not just to preserve, but to make the foods downright irresistible. Absolutely irresistible. So where you cannot resist it, or you have a difficult time resisting. I'll say it that way. So let's get it. Just I'm going to keep this science really, really simple. Okay. As I remember, my teacher in school had to keep statistics really simple for me in order for me to get it. So let's get a little bit scientific. The additives, they often play with your brain chemistry, and it triggers a release of certain neurotransmitters like dopamine, and that's the feel-good hormone. And so it makes you feel good. I eat this and I feel good. And so a lot of times when you feel bad, then your brain craves the positive feeling and you want that again. So if you're feeling low, you might go for a pick-me-up. And if you're not feeling low, you might go for a pick-me-up because your brain is craving whatever that is. So think about it as a roller coaster. I hate roller coasters. I couldn't ride the Scooby-Doo roller coaster at my local Kings Dominion park here in Virginia because I was too scared. So let's think about it, though, as a roller coaster. You get that initial high when you eat the food, right? But then comes the crash. So it leaves you craving more to get back to that euphoric state. So it's not just a lack of willpower, okay? It's a chemical dance that's actually happening in your brain. So every time we snack on these processed delights, then there is an actual trigger happening in your brain saying, yay, I like that. I want more. So it doesn't matter if the food is healthy, which it probably is not, but it doesn't matter if the food is quote unquote healthy, like oranges or something, but the oranges that they enhance. Or if it's grapes, grapes on their own, can be healthy. I got a whole giant grapevine growing outside of my house. They've been there for, I don't know, 40, 50 years or longer. And so it doesn't matter if it is a plant that is normally healthy. Those foods, we need the foods that have the labels on them, the processed foods, we need to turn them over and read the labels. So there was a broadcast, and I think I'm going to post a snippet of it on my on my page, Plant-Based Penny Life page. Thank you for joining me for the War on Wellness. And it is a broadcast for 60 minutes. And for those of you who are old enough to remember 60 minutes, does anybody remember 60 minutes? Put 60 minutes in the comments. Let me know I am not the only one of this generation who remembers 60 minutes. So it was kind of like one of those shows, like a Dateline. And they did a report on flavorists. And so there are major corporations, because it's a billion-dollar industry on affecting our brains with wanting more of that particular flavor that's created in a lab. And anyway, in the broadcast, it talks about our perception, taste largely resides in our olfactory system or our nose. And they interviewed the flavorists, and I'm guessing that this point in their history, they were denied by every other company except for this one company, and the employees were probably didn't talk to the PR person at length and gave some really honest answers. So these additives that they talk about in the food, they're created to enhance the flavor and the texture of foods. And so they talk about taking the orange, and they have people who have these heightened senses of smell, professionals, just like they have professional tasters who just have a heightened palate. And they take the orange and they plug a hole out of it, and they take that out, and they take that back to the laboratory, and they have the flavor compounds of the actual orange, and how can they enhance the flavor compound. And the question was asked of the flavorist, well, that sounds like something that you want people to come back again and again for, like an addiction. And they go, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. And you can probably enhance the flavor. Yes, exactly what we're doing. And then the lady corrects them. Well, actually, we just want people to really want the foods and really desire the foods, or a similar conversation like that. So they create a pleasurable experience, and that hooks us, leading to repeated consumption. If you ever go to the grocery store and you realize that you're continually getting those Twinkies each time you go to the grocery store, it might mean that you have an addiction to the chemical compound that's in that particular food. So now that we're armed with that knowledge, we're going to move on to how these additives contribute to addictive behaviors. And so I want to go back to my screen right quick. Okay, good. Other people are putting their favorite snacks down as well. Okay, we have M&Ms. We have, notice some light chocolate here. Okay, we have salty foods. Okay, very good. There are lots of different foods and food types that we have that can be on this list. So it's not just one particular food type. So just imagine the more you consume of these addictive additives, the stronger the neural pathways become, creating a habit that is tough to break. So, I mean, if you eat, you go to a function or something and you eat this for this one time, or maybe you only eat it during the holidays. Well, when I say holidays, I'm talking about November, December holidays, because there are holidays all throughout the year. But if you're eating it for that short of a length of time, that is not what is called an addiction. Okay? Somebody put what the definition of an addiction is in the comments. And so, in essence, understanding the science behind the food addiction is the first step to taking control of our cravings. If you've ever gone to any counseling sessions, they say that admitting that you have a problem is the first step to solving the problem. And it's the same thing with food addictions. Admitting that, discovering that there is such a thing and admitting that that may be possibly me, then that's the first step to taking control. Because as Plant-Based Penny always says, that we should be our own best health advocate. Okay, so this is actually I didn't say it in the beginning, but this is part of a 4-part series that I'm going to be doing. So tonight we're discussing the science behind it, and then we're going to discuss other parts behind it. So we're going to discuss breaking free of food addictions for the second part. Third part is going to be overcoming triggers. And the fourth part will be building sustainable habits. And so I look forward to sharing those with you during the month of January. So make sure that you like, comment, and share this broadcast because it's so important that we know. Maya Angelou says that when you know better, you do better. Yes, thank you. Glad that came back to me. So, in essence, we want to understand the science behind the food addictions, as I said, because then we can take control of our cravings. And in the next segment, we're going to explore the practical tips to breaking free from the additives and the patterns and embracing a healthier lifestyle. I help people move from problems to progress as plant-based Penny, because after 34 years of dedicated to corporate America, I moved abroad to 3 South American and Latin American countries. That's just 3 of the 8 countries that I went to in 3 continents, where I immersed myself in plants as medicine and plant-based remedies to help people move from their problems to their progress. And that is my passion, absolutely. And so I am going to be actually speaking. I have another speaking engagement. I just finished an interview earlier today. I have another speaking engagement coming up at the end of January in Richmond, Virginia, for the Leading Ladies RVA conference called Women Making Moves. And I'll be on a panel there. I also have a vending booth where I'll be offering my detox teas. Make sure you come by and get your shot. And it's so important that we actually do detox because chemicals are in our food. There is a war on our wellness. There is a war against you, and it is attached to taking the money out of your wallet. So there's a war on your wellness so that you can participate in the pharmaceutical and the medical health care system. So we have to be our own best health advocates. I want you to look, live, and feel well. God wants you, above all things, to be in good health, even as your soul prospers. And so that is why Plant-Based Penny is here every Wednesday for the War on Wellness, equipping you with food education and knowledge so that you can help yourself and help others move from problems to progress. Make sure that you like, comment, and share on this broadcast. Let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at life@plantbasedpennylife.com, right there on the screen, life@plantbasedpennylife.com, or you can go directly to my website at plantbasedpennylife.com. Thank you so much for watching tonight's War on Wellness, and we will see you next week for part 2, which is breaking free of food addictions.